Welcome to the Milt Talk Legacy Builders podcast, a place where Milts can connect to one another to inspire, motivate, and collaborate to continue to build a strong and well-connected alumni association. I believe that Milton Hershey School rebranding is actually just getting started, and I want to be part of that journey. I think the best way to commemorate Milton and Catherine Hershey is to continue our own legacy that impacts the world as Milton Hershey so impacted us. I believe the level of extraordinary that each and every Milt carries within them is deeply underestimated, and this podcast will help in the journey to show off what Milts are really made of. I'm excited to get to know more Milts, more insight to their upbringing, and what they're doing now to build their legacy and bring value to others, and what being a Milt really means to them. Today, I'm speaking with Chaminuka, aka Ayinde Holliman, class of 2003. Ayinde is a financial services professional that works in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. He is focused on working with families to help them better understand the financial planning process and better prepare for what is coming next. He is accomplished with a master's in business administration and a concentration in finance. He's a father of 5 children, a loving husband, and a self-made businessman. Ayinde's passion lies in assisting families build a better and stronger financial future. So welcome to the Milt Talk Legacy Builders podcast, Ayinde, and thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you so much for having me, Zahraa.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so good seeing you again for the first time. You look exactly the same, like I said earlier, just a little bit older.
Yeah, just a little more facial hair and weight.
A little more facial hair, that's right. A couple more wrinkles, not too much. Not too much. So let's start with how old were you when you first got to MHS?
I was 12 years old, right into like 7th grade. I think I went to MHS.
Okay.
So it was pretty interesting. Or at least, but you're going from DC, where I'm from, to MHS, and just dealing with this whole melting pot of people from around the world, Yeah, so exactly. But I wouldn't trade for anything really for myself.
Yeah, that's right. I know. I think we all carry the same sentiment. So when you before coming to Milton Hershey, did you live with mom and dad or another family member? What was your family situation like?
Well, I lived with my mom. I was in DC.
Okay.
She was a travel agent, at the time. My parents divorced when I was 4. Okay. And my father, he actually passed away when I was 10 years old. Yeah. So, and I was very angry, after that point in time, because to be honest, I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye or really have any idea. Even after he passed away, I didn't get to attend his funeral.
Yeah.
I found out through a family friend that he passed away. Oh, that's when I was coming off a bus. Someone said, "Hey, your father passed away."
Oh my gosh.
So I was hurt and mad and just angry at the world, at the time I was going to a private school at the time called Green Acres.
Yeah.
It was about an hour and a half from my house. It was I was from DC. I had to travel to Rockville, Maryland, by bus every day. And one of my teachers, her name is Joni Malone. She found a pamphlet for MHS, there, and I actually presented it to my mom, and I was like, "This sounds like a really cool idea." He's like, "Shit." I was like, "You don't have to pay anything." I mean, I was trying to get out.
Wow.
And mom said okay. I mean,
great story. So you brought that to your mom. How crazy.
Yeah, I brought. Yeah, I sold my mom on
like no more driving an hour and a half every day on this bus.
Well, yeah, on this bus, and and that school also only went up to middle school. It didn't have a high school, So
yeah.
So after like 6th grade, like you were done, or 7th grade, you were done with going there.
Yeah. Wow. So your year at Milton Hershey, was that like complete culture shock? Did you get into like any sports right away, or did it take you a while?
I can't remember the first year.
Yeah.
But I think I did sports. I remember doing my first year. I think I did swimming.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure if I did soccer immediately. But I know within like a year or two, I was into soccer and track and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, you had said earlier did you do soccer and track all 4 years, like 9th through 12th grade?
yes,
Nice.
yeah, yeah. Because at that point in time, I had my group of friends. It's called Three Amigos, and me, Kwaku, and Rashid. Kwaku Sarp, Kavia. You know, we did
Yeah.
all our sports together, and
Yeah.
like we everybody saw us together in every situation. You know, we
Yeah.
ate together. We did all sports together, and everything. Matter of fact, I just talked to those guys yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome. I was just
yeah,
about to ask, are you guys still connected?
yeah. Well, man, we were talking for like 2 hours yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, because I was like, I know Zahraa. I remember her.
Yeah.
I literally had to ask like, was she at Ibaku? I was like, was she in sports somewhere? I know her so well. I
Yeah.
know Lisa. I know her personality is great, big personality. And then I was just trying to. I was like, where was she in something with us? I can't. I was racking my brain about it.
Yeah, I was like the outskirts of all those sports. Like can't do it myself, but I'll watch.
Yeah, it was pretty
I'll be
fun.
here and support him so I can get out of the suit and home. I think I tried soccer for like a week and was like, yeah, this is just too much running. I can't. I'm tired.
It was a lot, you know.
It is a lot.
I love playing soccer, and I'm being honest. I wish I would stay with a little more. It's funny how I tried to do it just like about a year after that, and like some soccer rec leagues,
Yeah.
and it doesn't take much time at all
Yeah.
to lose your athleticism in soccer, like to lose your footwork. Oh man, I like my mind was saying, okay, yeah, put your foot on the ball and then do this maneuver.
Right.
My body was just saying, like, just watch it.
Yeah. It's crazy because you lose like that agility and that like what do they call coordination.
I will never get it back.
Yeah. You probably will if you just kept back on it. But like these days at our age, like how do we get to play soccer every day on like a team? Like there's not even enough adults.
Well, the good thing, I have my starting five with my kids, you know, so
Yeah,
I probably could do it.
That's right.
We got a fence in the backyard. I mean, if I put my mind to it, I bet you I could do it.
That is so true. You do. You got your own little team going.
I wear myself out, you know, doing it, and they wear me out. So
yeah, yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, hey.
Yeah. Hi. No, you too shy. Okay.
Your daughter's beautiful.
So shy, Sage. Thank you so much. Yeah, she's my little baby. Yeah. She's so when you graduated, you said earlier you didn't do sports in college. What did you study? I know you said you got your master's in business administration and you minored in finance. What about your bachelor's?
Completely different situation. In what I did is I started off in industrial engineering because when in high school I was you know, we had to get everybody had to get a vocation. You all had to learn skill. So I was in the construction class. Or I was in carpentry.
Yeah.
I was trying to get into be a what do you call this? Engineer for architecture. But that was full. So I actually went several years. I did industrial because it was full engineering. Yeah. I was like, I was getting any engineering degree.
Yeah.
You know? And then later on, I was like, man, you know what? I don't like this engineering stuff as much.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just go to construction. I switched up and did construction management.
Okay.
And because I still, you know, I was at the time I still had my carpenter by trade. I still can, you know, build things. I just like seeing things, you know, built up like that. Hindsight, I probably should have just did business. That's still been something I've always researched into. I just do that for fun.
Yeah.
But construction management now. how kind of what brought me to what I do now is back at that time here, it was right when our first in our lifetime, major crisis happened in 2007, 2008, and
Yes.
I was seeing it happen even after I did my internship, where people were just had contract work for it in these fields, even for engineering, by the way. I mean, there's a lot of people they'd bring on for a certain project and then let them go. I had plenty of guys I worked with, I even had guys I even had worked with in the car business. I sold a car to, and he had a problem keeping up with his payments on his car because he kept getting let go in his jobs.
Oh, that's awful. I know.
And he was an engineer.
Yeah. Wow.
So he would have to pay. He had to pay it like in advance 6 months because he was going to work for 6 months, and after that he had to find something else. So that's what brought me into sales, and entrepreneurship. Like I've been in dealing with financial services now for over a decade. Helping people. But that instability.
Exactly.
And with construction, it's known for people constantly having to move.
Yeah.
People have to move from all across the country, from job to job, state to state. And me having a family, that was a non-starter. I was not gonna ship halfway across the country,
right?
Just for a paycheck.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's not conducive to a good family life. Yeah.
Yeah, and tons of people in
about construction.
The divorce rate was extremely high.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you were able to see that and then understand like what the priority was, family being the priority. So this is just not the industry that's going to be for me. What else is going to be more conducive towards me trying to build the family, lifestyle that I want? Yeah.
Exactly.
Most of the time people will sacrifice the quality of family life and every other aspect of their life for the sake of a job or a career. Yeah.
And I it's funny. My former house father, Mr. Slammons, Andy Slammons.
Oh my God! So you guys had the Slammons?
Yeah.
Andy and Deanna Slammons?
Yes, they're
awesome.
That's
so awesome! Yeah, they're such a great couple.
And they're doing very well. I think they just bought a home, really nice.
Yeah, I saw that.
People of faith, and they showed me I learned a lot from them. As well as from my previous house parents, the Johnsons. Yeah. Brian and Darlene Johnson. Now, one thing he said recently, I saw actually about a year ago. He said on Facebook, he had a post. He said, "Why are you killing yourself for a job that will replace you within a week if you pass away?"
Yeah. Wow. Wow. It's true. Wow.
So I was like, "You're right." I mean, if nothing wrong with working on other people, but don't sacrifice your entire being for something that would switch you out like underwear.
Absolutely. Yeah, because in the end, we are very expendable when it comes to corporate America.
Oh yeah.
As close as some people may be with their coworkers or even their bosses or something like that, if economy takes a hit and that business begins to struggle, the first thing usually that goes is the labor cost, and it's a sad situation. That was the big reason I kind of got into entrepreneurship too, was I was in pharmaceutical sales and I got laid off, and I saw other people being laid off, but they were in their 40s and 50s. So it didn't hit me much. I was in my young 20s. I just didn't really understand it. But once I wrapped my head around it and I witnessed how it affected these older people, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to continue to put myself in this situation to one day potentially get laid off in this way. When I'm 50 and I have either a mortgage or a family or a life that I'm building that's, needing this income, and then suddenly it's just taken out from underneath you, that I knew that would not work for me. So exactly. It's a false sense of security that people have, with the job. Like that's just what it comes with. It is not the real security. You know, a lot of people think, oh, I'm in a union, or I'm in this, or I'm in that. In the end, there is no permanent anything in corporate America. Nothing is 100% fully permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew if anything was going to be, it was going to be based on me. So I'm glad you saw that too.
I
And
realized that I had to choose myself.
how old were you?
When I decided that there.
Yeah, when you decided to get into entrepreneurship.
Gosh. Well, I think it's been a hybrid for me for a long time. I've worked jobs, and I've worked, and then I still I had received my insurance license 2007, and then I still would sell these things on the side. So I wouldn't for a long time I didn't completely go away from that, you know, and would work, you know, in partnership with different companies. And I still do work in partnership with companies here that have the right structure that I'm looking for within my business. Now, I'm not a full-time employee for these places, but I will still partner with and contract with, and that's part of being insurance as well. You contract with the companies.
Right.
My kids are tap dancing. Hey, girls, can you tap dance upstairs?
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you go upstairs with your princess outfit?
No, princess outfit. I'm
Okay.
Hi. Oh my
outfit.
goodness. You're so cute.
Say hi.
How adorable. Thank you. That's so cute.
So these outfits are amazing. All right, now, girls, they upstairs, but I like the combination.
One's a princess, one's a superhero.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Cool.
Anyways, my girl.
Yeah.
They're all.
Yeah, so you got into entrepreneurship. So you did a hybrid, you said, which that's honestly what a lot of people do is, you know, they dip into jobs while they're building the business that they want, which I think is a great idea, because going straight into entrepreneurship without any sort of help or, you know, income that's flowing, entrepreneurship is hard already, but doing it all like by itself in the beginning without any other safety net or anything like that is double hard. So you're always lucky when you're able to do a hybrid model. Yeah.
Yes. And I did that for several years, you know, just dealing with that like that.
Yeah.
Just because at the same time I had always wanted to make sure that I was taking care of home and taking care of everything, but also the deal is that I can have my current job support, you know, what I do until the point that you know my entrepreneurship role takes over, or makes more than what I'm
right.
doing.
Right. And having consistency. Yeah. So in the financial industry, what all do you cover in your financial planning portion? What do you cover with people? What kind of products or services do you help?
Okay. Now, for me, it's our company here. We deal with insurance, of course, but it's dealing with life insurance, health insurance, annuities, and we've also these things have also now move further into other roles here that when it comes to both estate planning and college planning.
Yeah.
And especially with the college planning part of it here, it's a college planning and funding is a part that not a lot of people even know about, and how to work the way within that system, because it's a system where, you know, on the outside it looks like it's very rigid. It's from being somebody who's been in the car business. It's similar to whenever you go to go to a college, as if that they pull your credit before they even allow you to test drive the car.
Right.
Okay, or to give you a price.
Right.
so when you do your FAFSA and you're doing your all your they're finding your expected family contribution.
Right.
All these colleges here already know what your family can contribute.
Right.
So they're, well,
Right.
hey, you make a certain amount of money, we charge you sticker.
Right.
And
Right.
charge you the most. Now, what people don't know about this is the fact that when it comes to college, you know, and at least a lot of people don't look at a lot of these colleges here, especially you go to 4-year colleges.
Mhm.
They have big endowment funds. I mean,
Right.
and I'm talking about hundreds of billions of dollars are sitting in their funds. You know, matter of fact, most people think that the president or and the chancellors are people who make the most money, but it's actually the person who funds who manages these endowment funds who makes the most money at these colleges.
Right. Yeah.
Now they're willing to dip into this money to get the right student. So you first of all, the person has to be the right student, and then if you also if you're that right student that is not just had good grades but is involved in the community,
Yeah.
they're willing to either drop the amount of tuition or even pay money to get that student to come to the college.
Yeah.
Because students who engage with others bring more people into the school without.
Yeah.
So it's essentially it's a force multiplier. They get one
Yeah.
person, but that person can help bring another 3 or 4 people without them having to spend any marketing money.
Right.
It's worth the
Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? So that's the reason why. Now with my company, we help walk these students and their families through the process when it comes to the full financial planning. We start with estate planning and college planning, and then we also then work our way back into all these other things that they work out to help either save money or to get them into a better situation where they start to really put these plans together.
Yeah.
And we try to, in the best way possible, to help them plan for that future.
Yeah.
Because and work into that next step of life. I don't really want to put a situation where parents are sacrificing their retirement for having to work till they're 75 for the kid to go to college and then possibly drop out.
Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what do you think? And now that you're in entrepreneurship, since you've been in entrepreneurship, what has been your biggest challenge so far?
For me, the biggest challenge is just been by finding the right people. Okay, that for me to work with. Now, I know that it's a challenge sometimes with all kinds of marketing, but I really, for me, it's just getting enough people, and also having the most support along with me. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to join your podcast, just kind of to position myself again in a different space, put myself out there a little bit more.
Yeah.
And just to let people know that I'm here to provide this, a service for them,
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that's been the biggest challenge for me is just reaching more people,
Right.
because I know I have a lot of value to give, but
Yeah.
I'm looking for the right people to give them to.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's tough to, especially in a business like ours, to have that influx of people to reach. It is a game of marketing and advertising and putting yourself out there and trying to engage as much as you possibly can with your target audience, and our target audience in the financial industry is usually people in their maybe mid-20s all the way up into their close to their retirement age, and sometimes thereafter, depending on what you're providing them with. So trying to reach that target market and bring them your way, it's probably one of the hardest things of our business model, because once we bring them our way, the products speak for themselves, the services speak for themselves, you speak for yourself. That the rest is almost easy. It's just about getting them. Once
Exactly.
that part's done, it's usually like, okay, let me show you where we're at, and let's get to know each other, and how can we help, how can we bring some value, and the value is always good. So yeah, I completely understand that struggle, because it is a big one. Yeah. So you had said earlier you kind of did a hybrid of things, and you studied engineering at first, and then you did your master's in business administration. Do you think you always knew, or there was anything in you, um, as a child or growing up, that made you want to be an entrepreneur? Or do you think that was just something new that happened in adulthood once you realized, what corporate America was like?
My father was an entrepreneur growing up. Yes, I was very young to exactly know what he did,
Yeah.
but he was definitely a Renaissance man. He did quite a few things, like even from what I can remember, it being between 4 and 5 years old.
Yeah.
But he was involved with several different things. Now. So I always wanted to get into that. I mean, I wish I knew more history about all these things, but I know that was part of my path. Like I was always interested in what's coming next, and
Wow.
how to better do that, and which is another reason why I have further now expanded what I did in my business, so I can. The digital age, is here, of course, but now people are looking for these things, and we have apps for everything. Now one thing that hasn't quite been as easy to do is dealing with financial services.
Yeah.
Because some of these, with you can do it okay with just simple term policies, or things like that, but still people trust more the face and the person they're working with more than they do just with that particular product or company. So I still partner with the top carriers here, but I want to also make sure that if I can make some of these things easier to access for people,
Yeah.
is the biggest difference for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings me to one of my other questions. Since the pandemic, has your business changed, or has the way that you do business changed? Like, did you have to pivot in any way since the pandemic?
For me, the pandemic really just shed light, on a lot of different holes, I perceived safety nets as a society. I mean, I think a lot of people, for us, we believe that now nothing's really guaranteed in life anymore. and that now, really planning, to secure your future, is hyper important.
Yeah.
Because, there's adage, that, people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan.
Good.
And if you don't have one, someone will make one for you, and I have, and I've personally seen this through clients, and even, family situations on both sides of when things are properly put together, and when things are just pieced or added there, and it is a completely different set of stressors that are put on them. There's eustress and distress, and you want to feel eustress, but distress, can kill you as well.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I always say one of my funny, famous quotes that I'm known for is, you don't want to be a paper bag in the wind in your life. You can't just be blowing around being reactive to everything. Like, the idea is to, like you said, plan, prepare, for what you want, instead of just blowing around, like letting life push you around everywhere and ending up wherever it puts you. That's not what we want. Yeah.
I mean, it was okay part in American Beauty, but that's not the kind of life you don't want to be the plastic bag.
Exactly. You don't want to be the plastic bag in the way.
Hopefully nobody was thinking that.
Yeah. That's so funny. And it's really awesome that your dad was also an entrepreneur. I think a lot of that is hereditary. My family, Arabs, I think, are known for owning gas stations and just being, entrepreneurs. So my brothers became entrepreneurs, then I became an entrepreneur. So I think a lot of it really is hereditary, even though you don't remember your dad much or know a lot about his life and what he did. I think subconsciously, so much of that spilled into you. And I love seeing that. I talked to so many people who, didn't know, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur all my life, but they did have like this little quiet voice in them as a kid that, had that little spark in them. So I definitely believe that it is hereditary. It definitely can come, whether you know it or not, from your family upbringing. Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool to see though. That's really cool to see that. So you said since the pandemic, did you pivot much or no? Like I know for us, we pivoted major. Like we had office space before. We would have face-to-face meetings 100% of the time, one-on-one meetings with our clients, meetings with our agency people, and everything was face-to-face. Since the pandemic, everything has gone to Zoom. I mean, we no longer needed the office space and that overhead. Everything that we do with our agency, our team, we do via Zoom trainings, all of those things. And then same with our clients. Most of our clients, we give them the option. We can come see you, absolutely. Or, we could do a Zoom. And now people are so, yeah, absolutely, I want to Zoom. When before, speaking about something like financial services would be a complete no or a taboo, or people would not have even been comfortable or thought about that prior to pandemic. But now that the pandemic happens, everybody's like, can we Zoom? Yes, we sure can.
Yeah, I mean, it's, to be honest, it's forced people who were before uncomfortable with using these technologies to have to use it now.
Yeah.
Just to talk to their loved ones, or to interact. So now it's not so hard just to do that. I mean,
yeah.
In our field, I was very used to beforehand. I set my appointments up. I had leads I purchased. I set appointments up by phone, and then I would drive to their home, knock on the door, and present everything. I present what was probably to offer for them, as well as doing proper needs analysis, all at the kitchen table.
Yes.
Now I can do all that now over the phone or through Zoom.
Yeah.
And so that's been a part that's really changed. Now, for me, I also pivoted into I've been focused on creating organic marketing and organic content.
I do. I see that on your Instagram. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I see all the memes, all the stuff that you're creating. Yeah.
Yes. Now, all right. Can you see me? Okay.
I see you now.
Sorry. Another.
That's okay.
Device. Now, one thing for us that changed here is that I said, hey, I'm not going to buy a whole bunch of leads anymore. But what I went ahead and did was I hired VAs, virtual assistants, and people from around the world are really coming together to help put these things together. I'm not I wouldn't what you call a creative, but I leaned heavily on my team, I'll be honest, probably the best experience I've possibly had, managing a team.
Yeah.
Even better than I had face to face.
Yeah.
Just because the dealing with virtual assistants, these people have already worked with other people doing similar things, and my directives I have are very small, so they go right through it.
Yeah.
I mean, do everything they need to do, and it's literally the one of the best things. I definitely see myself having VAs, for a long time for several tasks, even after we get out of this, but I want to have a few more local people here just for, the sales aspect, but for a lot of this other stuff, man, I keep those guys for forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's such a big deal to know that, what, my time and my energy and my expertise is better utilized here. So let me delegate some of these other tasks to other people who can do these so I can focus on this other stuff. Well, such a great entrepreneur business move. Yeah.
And that's, for me, it was, it's you have to buy your time back. And yeah, I have to respect my time. Because I had a thing I was told a long time ago about IPAs, income producing activities.
Yeah.
And the thing what you need to focus on, if you don't know what to do right now at all, just focus on your income producing activities. If and everything else, if menial tasks or it's administrative, if it's during your regular working business hours as an entrepreneur, you need to be focused on income producing activities. All the other things you can take chalk off someone else, or do these things at night.
Right, but delegate them to someone else. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's really good. How has entrepreneurship affected your family life in comparison to your time with corporate America? Like when you were mostly at corporate America, did you have kids already also?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So how was that comparison?
I can hardly remember a time I didn't, but
yeah.
It's when I worked in the corporate sense, I would stay out the house for about 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Either from driving, and plus I got up, extremely early, sometimes before my kids got up and getting myself all together and then driving and coming back and I remember just being exhausted, and not really as much just physically, but mentally. And the mental part was even rougher, because, it makes it so sometimes people talk to you, don't even hear. You sink in your couch and you just drown out everything, because you're just trying to recover,
overwhelmed, mentally stressed.
recover emotionally for the damage has been done to you. Now, that's literally what it feels. Sometimes it feels like, when people take up space in your mind with their nonsense. Now, I felt before that me spending that much time away made it so I wasn't a full on participant, in their lives. I felt like, hey, man, I'm I hardly see them when they wake up, and then I'm putting them to bed it's almost immediately. I really I'm not completely coming through to what I need to do and be for them. I come back, they could start walking, or they learn how to talk, or the face changed,
right?
And I'm like I missed it. So so now being an entrepreneur, I have an office. Actually, it's 5 minutes up the road. That I mostly use it virtually. But I still work out of my office. My kids all the time give me a hug and a kiss, and they try to find out what I'm doing. I try to help. I teach them a little bit what I'm doing. But as much as they can really get, but still, those things make I feel like make a difference. And I when I take breaks, I take breaks. I make them lunch, and they go play. The kids tell me about what they're doing on their video games and what they're learned, and they're using ABC Mouse and other things. That they still, even during the summer, they're learning and
right.
Still, the brain's always growing, So it's if I'm going to always input these different things. Now, I wish I had a picture of it to show you. My wife got me for Father's Day. A short, it says "Dad joke loading," and that's And then we went to Disney here last week, and the whole time we're driving, they're trying to ask me for a new dad joke, and of course I came up with one because that's not my superpower. But,
That's awesome.
but yeah, it was it was not bad. Yeah, so I guess I've also participated in my corniness, so that was
That's awesome. Yeah,
so.
but that's great though. That's great. Yeah. I found that in the beginning of entrepreneurship, it is tough to take time away from the building part. So in the beginning, it definitely was the 10, 12, 13, 14 hours a day sometimes.
Yeah.
But then over time, as you're building it and there's more flow happening, and then, you start to understand how to utilize your time more efficiently. I couldn't even imagine myself going back to corporate America now that my daughter's here. Like, entrepreneurship honestly has blessed me and my husband with being able to be home with Zamina 24/7, whenever I want, anytime. I've never had to say no to her. Like, it's always, now since the pandemic, even our business has moved home. So just all of us being in the household at once.
I'm actually fighting even leaving this pandemic atmosphere. But like I'm more here like, man, I don't know if I even want to
go back. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the hardest part about also doing the face-to-face, I mean, sometimes your closing ratio might be higher going face-to-face people.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Charlotte is a town where there could be someone, or you might not think it's far, but it's an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
With traffic and everything, so
big too.
Where it's like, I have an appointment. All right, cool. Yeah, I'll be in. I've set appointment up a couple of days ahead. I'm like, yeah, they'll be there. I drive an hour. They don't answer the door. They're not there. Then back, and not me getting ready and me spiffing up and whatever like that. I spent 3 hours on nothing.
Right.
Now that's at that point, that's the majority of my day I have sacrificed for something that became nothing, versus I could have just, if someone, I called them, they didn't answer, or they didn't come to my Zoom meeting. All right, cool. Go to the next one.
Next. Yeah, exactly.
Boom. I be honest, I could have done 60, 70 calls and meets of people.
Right.
and within that period of time.
All that time. Exactly. And I think that now that people have tasted, working from home themselves, lots of corporate American jobs or businesses have also moved their employees to working from home. So I think a lot of them will probably keep an aspect of that. Maybe, not all of it, maybe not 100%. Some people are going back.
Sure.
What's that?
It'll be a hybrid component for sure.
Yeah. But I definitely think, there's definitely some hybrid.
I mean, companies save money too. Think about how much they have to spend on their infrastructure for their buildings with the lights and air, all that stuff.
All of it. It's exactly. And the time when employees come in late, lag time, whatever the case is, so much less wasted time, like you said, can be taken advantage of with technology.
Oh, I'm telling you,
incredible.
I mean, it was awesome, especially working from home. If I had a meeting at 9:00, I woke up at 8:55, and
how funny, yeah.
I mean, if I'm on the phone,
great. It's great.
Pressure close. Why?
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Honestly, I've been in sweatpants probably like the past year now, on like regular daily household pants.
I'm wearing jeans right now just because I just didn't feel right with the sweatpants and
How funny. Don't worry, you'll get there too.
I've been, trust me, I just left it, but it feels weird on my body.
Yeah, that's so funny. So you had said earlier, you listen to a podcast a day, which is awesome. What kind of self-development have you been doing, during your time of entrepreneurship? What kind of, do you read books? Do you listen to podcasts? If so, what kind?
Well, for me, it's really about doing things that are going to help build my mind. I feel that um, building your mental, is the biggest part. I feel like personally, I have to talk myself up into different things that are typically uncomfortable for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was talking to you before, like I've been an introvert most of my life, and still am, in some ways. So like for me, sometimes in places that are uncomfortable, it feels like pain to me. So I now read it and like had to find out, hey, what's the worst thing that can happen? And I get to this point where I start talking myself through, hey, what's the worst thing that happens? This person could they bash me online, or could they tell everything they're going to say about me? And I was like, would they do that just for me asking for their business? No.
Right. Right.
And so I started giving myself all these different things, but that's sometimes where your self-talk is so much is so much more powerful than the actual reality of what could happen. So it's filling myself with that, but also I try to surround myself with people who have vision for the future.
That's good.
And give me different perspective on things. And I've got a lot from that from my VAs as well, by just helping me. Because for me, it's just like with team sports. I don't before I let people down. I can let myself down a lot easier than I'll let other people down.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely. Isn't that funny? Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So it pushes me.
Yeah.
And for me, I know that I can definitely learn something, and I can find a comfort with anyone I talk to. And that's something that I've worked myself into for a long time. Because I think it's probably from being a Milt, because I meet people all the time, and we just talk to them, and we had to go to Hershey Park all day long, from 9 to 9, because my off week parents would bring their friends in, because they get free tickets.
Right.
We're like, boom, they give us $5 in a whip.
Remember that? I know. What are these? How far are these? No wonder we used to always ask for like the samples of fudge. They used to get tired of the milk. Like, why are you so bad? We're hungry. We're starving.
Oh yeah, I'm like, let me get. I don't know. I get Sprite by saying, let me get magic water.
How funny. Now we would like make our own lemonade from the little lemonade packets and honey. Like, we need something.
Yeah, I mean, the ingenuity was awesome.
It was awesome.
I mean, but buddy, it was something. So
$5 from 9 to 9. That is great.
Yeah,
so, that
you have to learn how to talk to people if you're going to survive out here.
That exactly. We are survivors. We are chameleons. Like that's one thing I love that we took away from Milton Hershey, is the fact that we can just get thrown into anything and still be okay and flourish even, that exactly. I think is a gift for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing I absolutely have liked about it, but I know I can find commonality. I can learn something from anybody.
Yeah.
But if I can then also add something back to them that they can take away, then it's definitely, I feel like it's been a mutually beneficial interaction.
Absolutely. That's right. Yeah. So what advice do you think you would give to someone else who's starting their entrepreneurial journey?
Big thing I would say is first of all, to make a decision for what you want to do, make a plan of action, and just get started.
Yeah.
A big problem, even personally, I've had, early on, what was getting this analysis paralysis, I would call it. Trying to analyze everything that could happen or should happen, right, and how you want it to happen, and how many different ways there is to make it happen. till you don't make anything happen.
Exactly. Yes.
So then next thing you know, you're a year later, and you've done nothing that you wanted to do. The only thing you are is more frustrated with your life.
Wow, that's great. It's so true. Yeah.
And so make it action, take a chance. That's why it's good still, like I said before, to even have that hybrid issue if you want to, just to start with, if you don't want to completely go homeless, if you don't
Right.
want,
Right.
that's your fear.
Yeah.
If that's your fear point.
Yeah.
Start on a small scale, but make a step,
Yeah.
and then adjust later.
Exactly.
It's times I have gone live with things, and then my website was terrible.
Yeah.
It just crashed, didn't work. It didn't go to the right website.
Yeah.
Or I did a campaign, and then it had the wrong phone number.
Yeah. Oh God.
And then so what I do?
Yeah.
I changed the phone number and I sent it out again.
Right.
And then I called and I said, hey, see, you got my thing. You're like, yeah, man, I called you, and it was some other guy in another country. I'm here now, so I just want to talk a little bit more about your mortgage protection.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's those kind of things that make a huge difference. About just having the courage to take that step.
Yeah.
Next thing is one of the best investments you can make is investing in yourself. There's a lot of things you can spend money on, and truth be told, I think one of the best books that I read was from Damon John, The Power of Broke.
Yeah.
When he was coming up, and he was creating FUBU here, he used marketing dollars.
Yeah.
He didn't spend money on marketing. He had other people do it for him.
Right. Yeah.
He gave his outfits to LL Cool J and put it in his music videos.
That's right.
And give it to people like that, and have people just wear it to make it cool.
Right.
And so they became brand ambassadors for his things before there was such a thing.
Wow.
They became Instagram influencers for such things as Instagram.
Yeah.
But they by doing stuff like that, made it better. Now, sometimes when you get money, though, it makes it hard not to have that burning feeling just to spend it. But if you could find a better way to make that same impact, sometimes you make more impact just by showing things that didn't go wrong. I think people. I was talking to one guy recently, and he was telling me that people don't buy when it comes to your expertise situations. Yeah. People don't buy what your successes; they buy your failures.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
and you buying those looking at the fair things that went wrong, then they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to do that. Right. So, yeah. But that's what it takes to be an entrepreneur. It is to take action, invest in yourself, upgrade your mind, your body, your spirit. But at the end of the day, you need to know that how high that you think of yourself, okay, will also determine how high you're going to reach for those dreams.
Yes, absolutely.
So that was the biggest part for me, because me being introverted and me being in a situation where a long time I personally didn't feel inner confidence about myself. So I was like, I'm not going to reach for that. That's too much, But once you break yourself from that mentality, it makes the biggest difference in the heights you reach.
Yeah. That is so true. Yeah. The belief level matters so much. I don't think people understand how much belief itself matters in everything. Like belief in ourselves matters in what decisions we make, what you said, what we go for, what we try to achieve, what is our threshold, what is our standard for ourselves. And even if a lot of times I used to see people come into corporate America and do like presentations for the employees to help them work on their belief in what it is that they're selling for that company. So
Exactly.
once that employee's belief level went up in what they're selling, suddenly their production level went way high. So
Yeah.
that's just believing more in what their boss is telling them to sell, them saying to themselves, this is good, I like it, wow, this product is valuable, blah, blah. Now it's going to be way easier for me to sell it than something that I don't really believe in, I don't really know much more about, And same thing for us. Like, we don't believe in ourselves to the degree that we should. We will not go after the things that, are beyond our belief level.
And we don't take that chance.
Yeah.
This is a weird analogy, but it's true. It's, and I found there's a lot, even when in my premarital days, but in days where you find out that in dating and meeting people, that everybody's just people, and I actually had better interactions and better chance of getting a date with someone who I felt was out of my league.
Yeah, how funny.
So
Yeah.
and that's, and at the end of the day, my wife is out of my league, and somehow I still got her, so I'm a pretty good sales guy. But it's very, very it's true that where is at the end of the day, just not trying to reach for something. It's like ooh, I don't want to take a chance on that not going well so badly that you shoot yourself, from that, even that the opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. That's such good advice. Yeah. So I want to end with this. What is your, two more questions actually. The first one is, what is your overall vision for the legacy for your family?
For us, it's going to be about really just forging a path, for the future Hollimans and future generations. Hopefully, what I want to always be able to do is just pass a torch, to one of my children or grandchildren here, and doing what I do and seeing the value of it. When it comes to renewable income or when it comes to again that passive income, to showing them the value of that versus trading their time for their money.
Right.
I've done a little bit of it with my kids, doing the 4 squares of income, doing the hockey thing.
Yeah.
But it was great that actually, I think I learned some of this here, even when going to Mount Hershey, actually, because when I was going there, when I was with Brian and Darlene Johnson here, we were at I'm trying to remember the name of our student home. Birchwood. Anyways, Birchland.
Birchland. Yeah.
Anyway, when we're going there, they had a game called Rat Race.
Uh-huh.
And we played it all the time. It was like we played that Monopoly.
Uh-huh.
And that game I loved even better than Monopoly.
Yeah.
Because that one literally was talking about like, hey, you get this job, okay? You have this job as this field. Like if you're going to be, that's actually why I kind of chose engineer.
Yeah.
Because as engineer, I was like, man, your debt load is not so high that you can't get out of it, and your income is higher that you could get over that hump.
Yeah.
Now if you're going to be over here, you have an income, a very high debt load, and income is not really going to make it hard for you to even get to the point where you start making that passive income. Yeah.
Right.
So the biggest thing is about you get rid of that finding the right vehicle that's help you to be able to get from take over what your initial debt load is, or which your investment you might have been to get to your certain point, and then making that money work for you.
Exactly.
And if anyone hearing this gets a chance, if anything else, get that game. Rat Race is the best game you can. have that can teach your children
I've
how
never even heard of it.
Robert Kiyosaki made it, by the way.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
Yeah,
So
'cause
the
I
rich
know.
dad poor dad guy made that book.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because Chris plays the cash flow quadrant game.
Exactly.
So, and he likes that game. Okay. So yeah, I got to get the rat race game.
It
Oh,
is awesome.
cool.
I had one before, and I'm gonna buy another one.
Yeah.
But because it's
Look at that. It even made a difference in how you chose to go about your future. That's crazy.
yes,
That's awesome. From a board.
you know,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean. I didn't want. They actually were showing how doctors and lawyers have a huge debt load, though.
Yeah.
If unless you had you were very blessed to have a whole bunch of grants and money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean nowadays that's $200,000-$300,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
A lot.
You know, that's a lot of money. I mean, if you're talking about all those years of schooling, and then you trying to live.
Yeah.
and
I crazy.
know many people who were doctors, and they for a while they had to live meager lives. They had to live pretty meagerly, you know, in the early years.
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of times what happens with people is that when they get more income, they get more debt.
Exactly.
And they the only thing they do is they just up their expenses.
Yeah.
They just increase the expenses. Now, that's something I talk about with my clients. But again, it's about just trying to pass on those kind of lessons on to people, because those things make big differences on big decisions that you make, and even though people that for you know generations coming on that don't decide to do what I do, but they take that lesson, that would make all the difference, because you can save yourself a lot of time, a lot of anger, hurt, and
totally.
and frustration.
Absolutely. Exactly. Yeah. So what, we'll end on this note. What do you think, what does it mean to you to be a Milt? What does being a Milt mean to you?
Oh man, Milt Hershey was great for me. And for me, being a Milt is all about family.
Yeah.
For me, the Milts and students and house parents, the people that I engaged with over my 6 years of being there, I feel as much a part of my family as my own blood.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Like I haven't talked to you in a dozen years before this. But I mean, you graduated in 2002, 19 years, and we caught up before this for an hour and a half. Just about nothing, and it was like it was yesterday.
Yeah,
you know?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but it's amazing. You know, like I can't think of any other school, secondary, post-secondary, that has that kind of
connection.
Connection.
It's crazy.
You know, I don't find that same level of connection with very many people that I've ever dealt with in my life.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's interesting. And what I love about it is the community is so tight and strong. You know, is that like whenever one of us has fallen or you know gets hurt, you know, there's always more than one of us. Always more than one. You know, sometimes people have one friend, but it's actually always more than one of us there to lend a hand or to help or to even lend an ear to listen.
Yeah.
You know, to what's going on, and to make sure that we feel, you know, secure. And that's something that you know, I wish we had more of, you know, as a society, period.
Absolutely.
People, because there wouldn't be people feeling so alone in whatever they deal with now. You know, so that's why I feel like it's just one of the best complete privileges I've ever had in my life, because I got to experience life with people from all around the world. You know, and they you know have in ways that they don't even know yet, and I don't even recognize sometimes, have impacted me, and I just little quirks and little silly things I do now that I still take away from people. I take sayings away from people all the time. As you've heard from how I talk, but I take and then I make it sound like I invented it.
Yeah.
But but
Great.
I'll steal it quickly, but that's
Yeah.
part.
That's
that,
funny.
but that is, for me, that's the best part, is that camaraderie and that
Yeah.
just that family feel, and that's something that you can't replace.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the pandemic has made it harder for us to be able to truly connect the way that
Yeah.
we're used to, but in some ways it's also opened up great opportunities for us to still be able to connect with each other. We can quickly add someone else into the loop, and someone else as well.
Yeah.
That just being able to connect, and that makes big difference on our mental health and how we feel about each other. And then what then we decide that we want to then unlock, because at the end of the day, like I said before, what you decide that how high we're going to feel about ourselves, and the keys that we decided we want to unlock are then going to decide then how we're going to make those keys for our own financial futures.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I agree. I love that too. I love that anywhere you are, you can run into a Milt or call a Milt or catch up with a Milt. And it's just like catching up with your brother or sister. We are so blessed for that. It really is incredible. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. So I want you to let everybody know wherever they can contact you. Where do you want people to follow you? Give them all the info you possibly can on this platform, because I want to bring as much light your way as we possibly can.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now, you can find me at Facebook, a Facebook group for Holliman Financial, as well as
I gotta follow you on Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta just add facebook.com/Holliman Financial.
Okay.
Then also Twitter, I'm same thing at not Twitter.
I gotta use my Twitter more. I know I get stuck between
my Twitter is different. It's Holliman Finance 1, FINANC 1. They couldn't fit all the letters in there.
Holliman Finance 1 is your Twitter.
Yes, and also Instagram is at Holliman Financial.
Okay, so Facebook and Instagram are both Holliman Financial.
Yes, and be honest, those ones I probably use the most of any of them.
Do you have any personal pages?
What'd you say?
Any personal pages, or just those are your
personal pages as well? I still have my LinkedIn page,
okay.
And also within my college solutions proportion as well. There's going to be college.Holliman Financial, which actually then takes you to my other college planning page.
Okay.
But within there we have I work with the American College Foundation exclusively in my area, as well as College Funding Solutions to find both scholarships and ways for kids to get their funding to go to the next step.
Awesome. So that's good. And on LinkedIn, what are you under LinkedIn?
It is Ayinde Holliman.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I got to make sure I follow you there too. So you got some good social media platforms there. Do you have a website?
For a personal website? No, not an Ayinde Holliman one. Okay. I probably should, but I just
honestly, our social media is like our websites now, and most of what we do anyway is once people reach us, a lot of what we do is talking to them. Anyways, we have a website, and I don't really even send people to it, because once they hit me from my social or whatever other marketing I have that they reach me on, then they just stay with me, instead of just, oh, go to my website, there's more info there. I usually just keep them with me. So the website doesn't always get utilized as much. Yeah. Yeah. So I will definitely, I'm going to follow your other pages, and I love what you've been doing on Instagram. I see that you're posting more and more, which is awesome. I would love to see more of your face on there, your family. I know you're an introvert, but I would love to see more of your family. Like I said before, you got to meet the husband. I definitely want to meet your wife. Just from talking to you and catching up, I can see that you guys are really great people, and you just want to do right and bring value to others. And that's exactly like the kind of people me and Chris want to be a part of our life.
Perfect.
Friend circle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to you about, man. It makes a big difference, you know. And sometimes we feel like feel all alone and where we are, but you know, it's just I like to meet people who are living life just like I am. You know what we're going through, and
yeah, absolutely. I had such a great time catching up. This was so awesome. I'm so glad that we did this. Thank you again.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, anytime.
All right. I got to do this again. It was great.
Yeah, we're going to do it again for sure. Yeah, we're going to catch up after we get off of this. I'll message you so then we can set up some time on a Zoom or something. Maybe do like a wine and cheese night. Me and Chris do a lot of like Zoom get-togethers, because especially if people are like far, like tonight we're doing a barbecue with Jessica Rivera and Ashley Wyckoff. They're coming over with their husbands and their kids. So we're going to do a barbecue here because they live in Philly and Harrisburg. But like for people who live in like Texas that we want to stay connected to, we'll do like wine and cheese night over Zoom. Like it's cute. It's really fun. Yeah. And then when we do that game show, you guys are definitely invited as one of the couples on there. Yeah.
It's good. I think there's an app now where even if you're having a party, you can invite other people to like watch you have your
Our people, we're just all becoming such narcissists. It's unbelievable. Everything we do now is going to be online. Just watch me do this.
I'm with you. I'm not that person yet, but I probably will be soon.
Yeah.
But where it's like, watch me open this jar of mayonnaise.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so funny. The world is what it is. You know, we just got to keep rolling with the punches.
Exactly.
But I had such a great time. Thank you so much. And we're going to talk soon.
I appreciate that.
Say bye, everybody.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
You too.